He never won a Super Bowl, right?
I don't believe so. I
don't believe he did. But he did have a great career. In fact, he was so famous that they used to call him the Bull because he could plow his way through the defenses, much like a bull at the like Pamplona, in Spain.
I believe the nickname he was known as was the Juice because of his initials, Orenthal James OJ, like orange juice. The Juice. He was the Juice, not the Bull.
No, he was the Bull.
Juice.
He played for the Bisons. That's like a bull.
No, he did the Bills.
That's why they called him the Bull.
The Bills. He was a Trojan. He was a Bill.
You're thinking of pop singer Juice Newton.
No.
No.
Because
no one's ever been.
Oh, was she known as the Bull?
No one's ever.
It'd be odd. She would be the cow.
No one of note has ever been known as the Bull. So except for OJ. So I'm pretty sure it's him.
Juice.
He's the Bull.
It was Juice.
Okay. Then who was the Bull?
You're soaking in it.
The Rees Company.
By the way, like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the algorithm.
All right. People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here. Too many 40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry. It's going to change. Be nice.
That ain't working.
I want you to be nice.
That ain't working.
And you'll both be nice.
So much as my wife was a giant. But
I want you to be nice until it's time to not be nice.
No, I'm pretty sure that's the way you do it.
The Rees Company.
Welcome to the Rees Company. I'm Steve Rees, the Bull of American Broadcasting, alongside the great Chris Morganti. How are you, Chris?
I'm good. I'm excited tonight, Steve, because we got some complimentary beer sent to us, courtesy of the Evil Genius Brewing Company in Philadelphia. And this one's called Stacy's Mom, after the Fountains of Wayne song.
Classic tune, indeed.
Classic tune, yeah. So let's crack these open and give it a try here. This is described as a Citra IPA, and it definitely tastes like a citrus IPA.
Yeah, I like this a lot.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
So keep it coming, Evil Genius, and thank you.
Thanks a lot, Evil Genius. Hey, Chris, I noticed moments ago, as we were preparing for the show, well, I was sitting here. Yeah. You were preparing for the show. I saw a lot of props getting readied.
Okay.
Some show prep was going on.
All right.
And it just, it makes me wonder, although I think I know where the humor of this episode might be headed.
Okay.
And speaking of beheaded, shall we do our movie of the week of the week?
Clever. Yeah, this is legitimately good. I like that
yes.
Candy beer we shilled a few months ago from another brewery.
Yes, from a far different brewery. Yeah. This reminds me of other IPAs I've had in the past and enjoyed.
It's mild in terms of, it's not super hoppy like some of them are. It's mild and very enjoyable.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this. In fact, it might affect the quality of the show. I'm enjoying this so much.
That happens.
All right, so this week, our movie of the week is the OJ Simpson Story.
Yeah.
And this aired on January 31st, 1995 on Fox. Now, last time we discussed a made-for-TV film about the siege on the Branch Davidians near Waco.
Right.
Their religious compound, Mount Carmel.
Yeah.
That film began production while the standoff between the government and the Branch Davidians, that standoff was in progress.
Okay.
And the OJ Simpson story is similar, the motion picture, because it was made while the events depicted were ongoing and unresolved. In fact, opening arguments in the Simpson murder trial began just 1 week before this program aired.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. But this does not cover the trial. This simply covers the period up to his arrest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, today, with the possible exception of OJ himself, even people who won't admit that they believe he's guilty, they believe he's guilty.
Right.
And there are people who all of their lives have known OJ simply as some ex-football player who probably murdered his ex-wife and a young man she was seeing.
Yeah.
So it's easy to forget or have never known just how beloved a figure OJ was at this point.
He was a famous football player, one of the most popular players of his time, one of the best.
Yeah.
And then he went on to star in the hilarious Naked Gun movies. I don't know that he starred in them, but he was a character player in
A
them.
supporting role.
Yeah, a sporting role, yeah.
But a notable role.
Yeah, and it was funny. He was funny, so.
Yeah, and he also
did a lot of commercials.
yeah, a pitchman.
Yeah.
And he had a very wholesome, clean-cut, all-American image.
Well, publicly, yes.
Yes, publicly.
Yeah.
So as these events played out, it took a lot of people a lot of time to even consider that he might have had something to do with these murders, even after he was charged, even after he fled. So this film was broadcast squarely in that transitional period of public opinion.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. I was going to disagree with you because I didn't really remember anyone thinking he was innocent. But I guess I'm thinking while the trial was going on.
As the evidence was rolled out, yeah.
But at the time that you're talking about, you're probably right. I assume you're right, yeah.
Now, this was directed by someone whose name I'm surprised we have yet to see until tonight.
Yeah, no kidding.
Connected with any of these productions. You want to tell the folks?
Well, it's directed by Alan Smithy.
Prolific man.
Very prolific. And the reason for that is it's a pseudonym that people will take when they want to disavow their involvement in a film. I believe it was the director, right?
Yeah.
It was directed by Alan Smithy. But people, I mean, you could be the lighting guy, and the lighting was all off, and you'd be like, yeah, put Alan Smithy on that. You still get a paycheck, I guess, but you're disavowing your involvement.
The actual name of the director was Gerald Friedman.
No, I don't know who that is.
Me neither.
Yeah.
It stars a guy called Bobby Jose as the adult Simpson.
I don't know him either.
I don't know either, but I checked out his credits. They're very extensive. He's had a fantastic career.
It was good in this.
Yeah. I thought so too. It looks nothing like OJ, but carried it off.
Yeah.
He also played the DC sniper.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. What was that a TV movie?
Yes, it was.
Oh, maybe we'll check that out. At some
I think we should. This movie jumps around time-wise. As it begins, the bodies of Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman, they're discovered.
by a dog.
Yes.
And I thought they were going to imply that the dog did it at the beginning.
You thought that's where this was
I
going.
thought, this is a weird.
Well, at this time, for all anybody knew, the dog was responsible.
Because it looked like a wolf.
Yeah, well, it's an Akita.
Okay, yeah. So I thought, like, they were killed by wolves? Is that where they're going with this? But I don't know.
Well, detectives, they want to talk to OJ.
Sure.
And at this point, probably just so they can clear him as a suspect and move on. The first person they always talk to is the person in a relationship with the decedent.
Yeah.
OJ's attorney isn't so sure that he should oblige the detectives. Let's take a look.
Do not do this, Juice. You've just suffered an unbelievable jolt. You haven't had a wink of sleep.
Howard, what's the matter with going in there and telling these guys the truth?
Well, for one thing, OJ, you're a murderer. They're probably going to ask you about all the murdering. So the last thing you want to do is go in there and tell them the truth.
Right.
Now, as I said, this film jumps around a lot. Soon, we see OJ and Nicole. They have their first encounter. She's a barmaid, and he's out on the town with friends, including teammate Al A.C. Cowlings. He figures heavily into this film.
Yes.
They kind of have an abusive relationship themselves.
What's the term for it?
Codependent?
Codependent. Yeah, kind of, a little bit. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I like the term codependent, because that seems to be interchangeable with anything people see as negative.
Okay. you see codependent relationships as sometimes positive.
No, I'm saying that codependent is used to describe. They have a codependent relationship,
As opposed to just saying they're a couple of assholes. Am I getting you right?
I think it's dismissive of greater issues within one's psyche.
Okay. All right.
But also codependent, that could be a good thing. I think you and I are codependent when it comes to doing this show.
Yeah, I would definitely not show up if you were not here.
and I wouldn't want to do this without you. Right. So, I mean, it can be a positive thing. So I correct myself from what I said just a moment ago.
All right. And you weren't addressing any of that to anything going on in my personal life?
No.
Okay.
No, Chris, no.
Well, then neither am I.
So OJ is out on the town with his teammate Al A.C. Cowlings. Again, codependent relationship, as they say. OJ invites Nicole to a game, and afterward, he meets a young fan.
All right, thank you. Anytime. Hey, so what'd you think?
Ah, you lost.
Already?
You okay?
Close that up, Nicole.
2 days in the whirlpool and I'll be all right.
Mr. Simpson, excuse me. I'm Kevin's mother.
Oh, Kevin's mother, yeah.
This is Kevin, huh?
Yes.
All right. How's it going, my man?
Fine. This is so good of you, Mr.
Yeah. Now, see, I don't know who this kid is playing Kevin.
Okay.
But I think we can.
Hey, Steve, can I just say?
Yeah.
Be careful, okay?
Oh no, I have a prediction about what his future held. That's all.
All right.
Okay. I don't know what he did in his career, but I think we can all assume he grew up to do a one-man show where he plays all three Beastie Boys.
Yeah, that's not where I thought you were going at all.
Okay, well. All right, so soon we're back. Yeah.
And I just want to point out.
Yeah.
Simpson, I hope you're not too tired or anything.
Was it? That woman, the movie we watched last week, there was one point where we didn't show this on our show, but it was in the Waco movie.
All right.
David Koresh had he was sleeping with one young woman, and then at one point he sleeps with her mom. Do you remember that?
I do, yeah.
I think that's the same actress that played the mom that he slept with.
That's very possible.
And by the way, that never happened because the guy who wrote the book that one of the movies was based on, David Koresh was not interested in unattractive older ladies. When God told him to take a wife, it was only the young, attractive women that God wanted him to be with.
God always tells them to do exactly the things they want to do.
It's what you want to do, not anything unpleasant.
It's never, God has instructed me to finish my studies as a CPA.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. None of these guys are told to spend 40 days wandering in the desert or whatever Jesus did.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't. That was Moses, but
he also
40 years.
He also went in the desert.
40 days was Noah on the ark.
No, but Jesus also went in the desert at one point. But yeah, you're right. It wasn't that long.
No. And Jesus lived entirely in the desert.
No. All right, never mind.
That part of the world is okay, except for Lebanon. It's all desert.
At one point, Jesus went on like a walkabout, and he got tempted by Satan during this walkabout.
Okay, all right.
It's Easter. We gotta bring this content in.
All right. So soon we're back in the present day. As I said, this film jumps all over the place. OJ goes.
Present day being 1994.
Yeah, this is 1994 in the film. OJ goes to his in-laws to commiserate with the family following Nicole's death. His youngest kids enter the house.
So where you guys been?
AC took us to the video store.
Oh, yeah? What'd you get?
Aladdin.
Aladdin? Again?
He's only seen it like 150 times already.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about Mommy?
Yeah. I just can't get her off my shoes. I mean, my mind. My mind. Shoes? I don't even own those shoes. Who's saying anything about shoes? What are we talking about, Aladdin? Yeah, so next we flash back again.
By the way, and I sorry to interrupt again.
Oh, you're fine.
Well, something that really annoys me from time to time is when music beds are much louder than they should be. And same in that last scene. You shouldn't be like, why is the music so loud? It should be background, Right?
It might be the quality of the upload in this case.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So we're going to flash back again, but this time even further to OJ's youth in San Francisco.
In the 60s.
Yeah, he's a promising high school athlete, but he and Al A.C. Cowlings, they're starting to run the streets. They're starting to cause minor trouble. Now, this part sounds made up, and I had never heard about this before.
All right.
But this apparently actually happened. Willie Mays catches wind of OJ's behavioral missteps and arranges to have a chat with him. Let's check in on them.
The thing about Candlestick, you can't predict it. Ball's up in the air, headed right for your glove, then all of a sudden the wind comes up and it's bouncing around like a ping pong ball. You have to be a damn aeronautical engineer to catch a ball in that stadium. Sit down. Want something to drink?
Yeah, want something to drink?
That sounds familiar.
It does sound familiar. In fact, if I remember correctly, as I was doing my research for this film, I found out that, I don't know if we could call him a friend of the show.
Probably not.
But certainly a show familiar figure. Ralph Williams. He also auditioned.
The forgotten son of Pittsburgh?
Yes. He auditioned for the role of Willie Mays in this, and I believe we have his screen test. Can we take a look, Jim?
Yeah.
You want something to drink?
Yeah. A little too harsh, Ralph. Not very hospitable. Also, you're a white guy in a wheelchair. We're going to pass, Ralph, but thanks for participating.
You want something to drink?
You want something to drink? Okay, OJ and Willie, they continue their powwow. Let's check back in on them.
I want this.
My friend at Booker T. Washington says you're the greatest natural athlete he's ever seen. Thanks, Velma.
Thank you.
You'll have everything you want. Big house, beautiful wife, special pass to live like the white folks. No one will ever say no to you for one very simple reason. You can run fast with a football. I'd say that's a pretty good deal, wouldn't you?
Yes, sir.
In my opinion, going to jail would be a big waste of your time.
Yeah. Now, Chris, morally, ethically, Willie Mays was right to advise OJ not to blow his athletic potential.
Right.
But he really sold OJ short on his promise as being both a football player and a criminal.
Sure.
You don't necessarily have to choose. In fact, a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
OJ's real problem when it came to the criminal end, he should have stuck with murder.
Okay.
He was great at that.
Yeah.
But then he tried to diversify into kidnapping and armed robbery, and
true.
that was like Michael Jordan playing baseball.
Yep. Yep.
That was like Garth Brooks wanting to be called Chris Gaines. OJ should have niched down, as they say.
Yeah.
So we're back in the thick of OJ's playing career.
Those are all solid points, Steve. I also want to point out when Willie Mays told him that he could live like the white folks, do you think OJ Simpson would have been disappointed to find out the white person he was living like was me? Yeah, here's your third floor, 1-bedroom apartment and your car with 200,000 miles on it. Oh, by the way, you're bald, so living like the white folks.
Yeah, white is often used as shorthand for a fallacy.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't all live like that. But.
So we're back in the thick of OJ's playing career. He's also started to take roles in Hollywood, and he just hosted a party, and of the guests who attended, only Al A.C. Cowlings remains. OJ's wife at the time, Marguerite, who, by the way, OJ stole from AC.
Yeah, it was a very Bronx Tale type of scene early in the film where he took away his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Marguerite takes issue with the parcels she discovers. Let's see.
You know what you see, man? Man, I was surprised how easy acting came to me, man.
What are these?
I mean, I think actors and running backs are both the same kind of people. We both got big old egos.
These are not mine.
Is you opening my mail?
OJ, whose are these?
Hey, some fans. Look, baby, don't sweat it. Things come in the mail, all right?
There's no stamp on this.
Well, then there must be postage due then. No. Hey, stop. Wait, no, you're not going anywhere. You come right on back. No, come. Look, baby, those panties were from some anonymous donor, okay? Hey, see, look at that envelope, man, and see if there's a return address on there. No.
All right. Well, now that scene is obviously hilarious, Steve, but it has me a little bit concerned because, as you know, we get a lot of panties sent to us here at the Rees Company, so much so that we've had to make this this box here, and now I'm concerned that there may be postage due on some of these. And look, the last thing I want is trouble with the post office because I already got the IRS breathing down my neck. So I'm gonna have puppet Jamie Walters. Is he around?
Yeah,
all right,
yeah, here he is.
I'm gonna have him go through our box of panties just to make sure. This is really stupid. Just to make sure that there's no postage due on any of these. Okay, so I'll have him do that, and you just continue on with the show.
Okay. Yeah, soon.
All right, he's getting to work.
Pretty soon we see OJ and Marguerite, his wife at the time. They get interviewed on their patio by a journalist. The marriage is starting to fall apart. There are cracks, and they're trying not to show these cracks. They're basically caulking them in real time for the benefit of the witness they have, who is this journalist. But that's not why I want to show this clip. There's another surprising aspect, and I think unnecessary and just really egregious, I think is the word, aspect to this clip.
Let's take a look.
Yeah.
The absence is our problem. There's no doubt about that. When you say so, baby?
A definite problem.
Marguerite, how is OJ as a father?
Oh, he's a wonderful father. He loves his children.
Arnell? Jason? Keep an eye on Aaron now.
Yeah. Aaron Simpson drowned in a swimming pool 4 years after this scene takes place.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow. That's messed up.
So that line, keep an eye on her, there's no reason for that, other than to make reference to the tragedy. And as a foreshadowing device, it's not only wildly out of place, it kind of blames her siblings for negligence when they weren't even there when the tragedy occurred.
Yeah. I mean, William Shatner and Tommy Lee Jones were, but that's beside the point. Google it.
So anyway, by this time, OJ has moved on. He and Nicole marry, and let's peek in on their home life.
All right.
Did you make an appointment with Jose Bear?
No, is there something wrong with my hair?
No, you kidding? Your hair's incredible. Just that I saw this model and she had been at Jose Bear's.
What model?
I don't know what model. The point is, her hair was fabulous. And she'd been to this guy's place, that's all. You packed yet?
I haven't decided if I'm going.
You haven't decided? Honey, I told the board of directors that you were going to be coming, and they got a suite for us.
Well, there's this class that I'm taking.
What class?
Sunglasses Forgetting 101. It's a very bizarre skill I'm trying to develop that I'm sure won't cause any trouble for anyone.
I'm loving this movie, Steve. Let's keep rolling these clips.
All right, well, let's hold on a second. The class Nicole is taking is actually interior design.
Oh, I thought she was a photography student.
No, at this point, it's interior design.
Okay.
OJ doesn't want her to attend these design lessons, so he smashes the windshield of her car.
The Ferrari that he bought her.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
So OJ then goes to a place that AC owns, or maybe he just tends bar there. I'm unclear on this. I'm guessing he owns the place because he's a terrible bartender. Let's take a look.
Get a little service around here, huh? Hey, what's up, Juice? You got it. How you doing? What's up, baby? All right. AC. What's up? You happy with your house, man?
My house?
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, okay, pause. Look at that horribly poured beer.
Yeah, there's way too much head on that.
Yeah, AC is as much of a head putter on her as OJ is a head taker off her.
Ooh.
And he didn't even give him the rest of the bottle. I think someone might be a little bitter about Marguerite.
Yeah.
OJ has some good career news. Let's see how Nicole reacts.
You know what, Steve? While we're waiting for that clip to load, this is a bit distracting. You know, he's really rooting around in there. I don't
Okay,
know.
well, is he okay?
James,
He's not drowning, is
Are
he?
you almost?
He has enough oxygen, I hope?
You're almost done in there. What do you find?
Because Kelly Clarkson keeps sending.
Oh, I found something. All right. Oh yeah, Caroline, give me a call. All right, you know what? Get out of here. Can't give him anything to do. So we got that clip yet?
Oh,
Yeah,
come on.
we do have a clip.
I didn't mean to
OJ
say
has some
that.
great
It's a
career
perfectly
news. He shares it with Nicole. Let's see how she reacts.
good role.
Look, I know it's not Othello, Nicole. All right? It's a comedy.
Better be a comedy with a title like The Naked Gun.
So what's the problem?
No problem. If you're happy with it, I'm happy with it. Just
what?
never mind.
What?
Just don't expect to win an Oscar for it.
Yeah.
Did he?
He did not.
Oh, too bad.
And it should go without saying, but the beating she suffers at the hands of OJ because of that comment, not to mention the subsequent homicide. Bang out of order. Not on, man. To paraphrase Chris Rock, that was not on. Bang out of order. Very unswinging.
Very unswinging.
Yes. That was the bit, right? But if she did, in fact, make that comment about the Police Squad films not exactly being Oscar bait, and we have no real reason to believe that she did say that, but if she did, OJ should have been the one calling 911 claiming mental abuse.
Yeah, those movies are great.
Yeah. He gets a major W, Chris, in his professional life, and she has to tear him down because it's not the lead in My Left Foot.
I'll say this though. I guess we're not going to see it, but the one scene, his fist goes straight into the camera. That was pretty great.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
well shot.
You really felt like Nicole Brown Simpson taking a punch from OJ.
Well, I think that kind of comment is its own form of cruelty, and I didn't want to point this out for fear of being misinterpreted, and I'm sure this will be, but if she felt comfortable making that comment, how scared was she, Chris?
The whole way through, I'm like, wow, you're really doing that? She announces, maybe we'll see it. She announces she's divorcing him with no, like, she's just like hanging out in the house. Like, you should have an escape plan when you're going to tell this guy.
She's on a treadmill.
That's what it was, yeah.
Which, in my house, that's when I announce I'm divorcing you.
Back to the milkshakes with you. But, yeah, like she comes off as very schizophrenic in that she's simultaneously terrified, but then leaves herself helpless and defenseless.
Yeah. I put it this way, Chris. Everybody knows I don't like snakes.
Sure.
I make every attempt to avoid rattlesnakes. I'm terrified of them. I make more attempts to avoid rattlesnakes than a sane person should. I make more attempts than the people who work at the snake refuge in Sioux Falls, which I really wish I didn't know exactly where that is. If for some reason I had to live with a rattlesnake in the house,
yeah.
Let's say it was because figuratively I didn't want to lose a custody battle or half of my wealth.
Okay.
Or literally because I'm living in a 1980s sitcom premise.
Or you like to keep your head attached to your body.
Right.
Yeah.
The last thing I'm going to do is take the lid off that rattlesnake tank and jump up and down on its contents.
Yeah. Yeah. But we don't know if this is what actually happened.
Yeah, right, correct.
I mean, it could be played up for this movie solely in Alan Smithy's imagination.
Right. And by the way, another thing we shouldn't have to say, but I feel like we should. If you're in this situation, get out of it. Get help. No matter what it takes, find an ally. But here's what you have to do: stick with it. Don't go back.
Yeah, I think
because she's gonna keep diminishing all your career highlights. It's a joke, of course. If you're being physically abused, don't stand for it and get out.
You know, I don't mean to derail our movie review,
okay.
But there was a news story this week. Jim could probably look it up, but University of Wisconsin, I believe. This is a sorority let in trans. I don't know if it's a man or I don't know. What happens when you're a man who becomes a woman? You're a trans
woman, yeah.
Okay. They let in a trans woman, and very progressive thing to do, right? After a few months, there were some issues.
Well, what kind of issues?
Well, she was a peeping Tom while the other girls were having sex with people, and they noticed it walking around with an erection a lot.
So this woman was a problem.
It was becoming a problem,
and
where they needed to go apparently to a legal recourse that ends up in the newspapers.
An imposter by any chance?
Well, yeah, I suppose. But here's the thing.
In the 80s, this is a film comedy.
In the 80s, this is a sitcom that ran for 2 seasons on ABC and starred Tom Hanks called Bosom Buddies. Right. This is how far of a society we've come in 40 years. This was a sitcom starring a guy who won 3 Oscars? I don't know.
2, I believe, yeah.
This
back to back, by the way.
This launched his career. And now it's a criminal case. Yeah, there it is. Was it the University of Wisconsin? We don't even need to go to the news story.
Wyoming.
Wyoming. Okay. Well, yeah, I was close. Alphabetically, not geographically. But yeah. So there you go.
Okay. So I don't even know where we are now, to be honest.
I'm sorry.
No, you're. It's not your fault. Well, after this incident, Nicole does get beaten as a result of that argument.
Yeah, that's where you saw the fist.
Yeah, and it was pretty brutal, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not comfortable showing violence necessarily.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Right.
It was a great shot.
And especially against women. But, yeah, so OJ is arrested for domestic battery, and here he leaves court with his attorney.
Look, considering the fact that you resisted arrest, some people would say it's a slap on the wrist. $700 fine, 120 hours community service. Hell, you'd be doing that anyway. Some counseling.
Counseling, Howard.
Take the counseling very seriously, OJ. We don't want this happening again.
Howard, it's not going to happen again.
It can't.
You want to bet? Why wouldn't it happen again? It's not like anybody's punishing you for it. It's not like a big, strong football player is going to jail for pounding his wife with his fist.
Come on, OJ.
You know what? Maybe you shouldn't even get a fine. Maybe you shouldn't even have to do community service. Maybe you should just give us all your autograph and call it even.
Yeah.
Now I'm confused about something, Steve. Who was that character?
That's a great question, Chris. It's only via the credits that I learned that she's meant to be a prosecutor. Probably the prosecutor who was arguing against OJ receiving such a light sentence.
I had to go back and make sure it wasn't Marguerite from the beginning of the film. Because I was like, who was this character?
You would think this is somebody who's been established, but no, that wasn't his ex-wife.
Do you think maybe that was Alan Smithy's issue? I can't be associated with this. I had 5 minutes of backstory for this character that you edited out.
I hope so. And the guy we just saw there being let off easily on a violent crime. Yes, it's the same man whose successful legal defense against murder charges was that a racist LAPD had framed him because they couldn't stand a black man being successful.
Yeah.
If law enforcement was guilty of anything here, it was the opposite. giving OJ special treatment because of his status and barely punishing him for his multiple reported assaults against Nicole, ultimately culminating in the deaths of 2 people. So Nicole eventually files for divorce, again the treadmill, and the two separate. But OJ just can't let go. And it doesn't seem to be that he still loves her. He just wants to keep controlling her.
I don't know.
Because they're both seeing other people.
Well, he's always seen other people. He was cheating on Marguerite, his first wife.
Yeah, and apparently so was Nicole. I mean, there's a lot of...
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you don't love someone. So, I don't know.
All right, well,
Wait, that came off really bad.
Yeah, that...
I've never cheated on anyone. I just...
It sounds like you were advocating for such a thing.
No. I'm saying I think you could still love someone in this weird situation.
But I think in his case, he wanted possession of Nicole.
Yeah, okay.
Much more than he wanted, because they were still raising their kids together. I mean, they had that figured out.
Okay. All right. I dug myself a hole that I'm
No,
gonna shut up.
you're fine, Chris. So Nicole's friend Ron, he's a waiter at a place called Mezzaluna, and he gets a call there at the end of his shift.
Hi. Yeah, sure, he's right here. Ron. It's Nicole Simpson.
Hi, Nicole. Well, if I bring them down, are you going to let me drive your Ferrari again? A cappuccino. You're so generous, Nicole. Yeah. Okay, I'll be right there. Bye. Have you seen a pair of glasses around here somewhere?
Yeah.
My good deed for the day. See you later.
Night, Ron.
Yeah.
So, if I'm reading this correctly, had she owned, say, a Toyota Camry instead of a Ferrari, Ron Goldman would still be alive today.
This is the first time I've ever heard the Ferrari angle. Yeah. It does come up earlier in this film. She says to him, well, you're only interested in me because I let you drive my Ferrari. Yeah. And by the way, my Ferrari. My settlement Ferrari.
Mutual property. But, yeah, I mean, she was an attractive woman. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who apparently also played for the Bills and made all those movies in your argument. All right. Well, the world knows what happens next, Chris.
You know what I would say, though, if I was dating a really hot woman who also drove a Ferrari, it'd be like 50-50. You know. You get where I'm coming from?
No, I'm not. Please.
Well, am I hanging out for her or for the Ferrari? I mean, come on.
Oh, you mean that there are two appeals to the relationship, and they'd be even. They'd be equal. Then,
it's a Ferrari.
Okay, but what are you bringing to it, Chris?
He's a waiter.
Yeah?
He's never going to own a Ferrari.
All right.
He has no prospect.
Well, but he's like 24, 25. I don't know, but he's a young guy.
You're right. Most waiters, by the time they hit 50, they do own Ferraris.
But he's a waiter in Los Angeles. He probably has other goals in mind.
He's only ever no. Because anytime anyone in L.A. gets involved in any kind of this stuff, they call him an aspiring whatever the hell they're aspiring to. They never refer to him as a waiter or a waitress. They're always aspiring something.
Well, yeah, so eventually OJ is charged with the murders of Nicole Simpson and the man we just saw, Ron Goldman. OJ agrees to surrender to authorities, but instead leads police on a low-speed freeway chase with AC behind the wheel. Eventually, he gives up the lamb, and he arrives in his own driveway where the fuzz awaits.
Yeah. And by the way, in case we have younger viewers who weren't alive when this happened, this was on CNN, or it was on
everything. It was on every broadcast network and the limited 24-hour news networks at the time.
If you wanted to watch Full House, you couldn't, because they were showing a Bronco driving 40 miles per hour on the
down the I-5. Yeah. Okay, so still in the Bronco in his own driveway, OJ is reflective.
Now listen to me, man. I'm gonna go inside now. They say I'm in the way out here. Come inside with me. This is me. Yeah. This is who I am. Isn't it? Yeah, Juice. That's who you are. You promise? Promise. You're a stand-up guy. This is what it's all is about. It's about some other dude, all right? Just some other guy.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, weird. And that's a scene that very much underscores the time frame in which this film was made. There was still an outside chance he was innocent, and a humanizing exchange like that, it hedges the movie's bets, should that turn out to be the case. If this were made only a few months later, that scene would not have been included.
Yeah. Everyone had realized, oh, yeah, there was so much evidence against this. It's insane.
Yes.
He had blood. He had their blood. The blood of the people he killed all over everything he owned. He clearly, I will say this, I don't know what they charged him with, but it should not have been premeditated murder, because he clearly gave this zero forethought. I mean, that dog ran away with blood on its the fur on it. Am I getting my facts wrong?
No, you're completely correct.
Yeah. And I will say, I just want to, I don't mean to interrupt. But
No.
One final thing, Jim, can we go back to that last scene? That's what I was trying to indicate to you there. Can we do that or no? We don't have to. But when he's holding up the pictures of his kids,
yeah,
this is, again, how much things have changed in 40 years. It took me a second to realize it wasn't an iPad. You too? Yeah. You realize it's just a picture frame.
Okay, now I want to see this, because I'm just not that dumb.
Yeah, look,
okay, so here he is. Yeah, he's
got an iPad.
He's playing Candy Crush. Yeah.
Oh no, it's 1994. Yeah.
All right, so this film ends with OJ surrendering to authorities, and everybody goes home, including OJ, although this movie doesn't know it.
Right.
He's found not guilty on all counts by a jury of his peers, and let's not forget that many of OJ's peers have debilitating brain damage from many decades of concussions. So we didn't rate Ambush in Waco.
Yeah.
Because that was a slapdash rush job of a film based on one newspaper article about David Koresh published during his lifetime. But by the time OJ was charged with murder, there had been plenty written down the years about his career and his professional life. So I think it's fair to rate this as a worthy project and not simply product, as the Waco film blatantly was.
So how much of his, there were how many calls that Nicole made to 911 about, oh, he's crazy, he's going to kill me?
At least two that I'm aware of.
I think they made it sound like there was a lot more.
There may have been.
Yeah. But was any of that public knowledge at the time?
I don't remember it being public knowledge.
Yeah. I mean, now that kind of stuff gets out there because it's on.
Yeah, there's TMZ.
TMZ, but social media and all that stuff. But back then, that could be covered up pretty easily, especially if OJ could just throw some money at some people and then, or whatever. I don't know where I'm going with this. Are we going to rate this film?
I think we should.
All right, go ahead, because I hadn't given it any thought.
I'm giving it 3 out of 5 for the performances alone. This is called the OJ Simpson Story, and yes, his relationship with and the murder of Nicole are in many ways the defining arcs of his biography. But the man played pro football. He starred in movies and television, did NFL commentary, and all of those things are either glossed over, if they're mentioned at all. A better title would have been OJ, The Path to Infamy.
Okay.
Because that's where this film's focus is. So 3 out of 5, Meredith Baxter's for the Bull.
You make a good point. He did have he never won a Super Bowl, right?
I don't believe so. I
I don't believe he did. But he did have a great career. In fact, he was so famous that they used to call him the Bull because he could plow his way through the defenses, much like a bull at the like Pamplona, in Spain.
I believe the nickname he was known as was the Juice because of his initials, Orenthal James OJ, like orange juice. The Juice. He was the Juice, not the Bull.
No, he was the Bull.
Juice.
He played for the Bisons. That's like a bull.
No, he did the Bills.
That's why they called him the Bull.
The Bills. He was a Trojan. He was a
you're
Bill.
Thinking of pop singer Juice Newton.
No.
No.
Because
no one's ever been.
Oh, was she known as the Bull?
No one's ever.
It'd be odd. She would be the cow.
No one of note has ever been known as the Bull. So except for OJ. So I'm pretty sure it's him.
Juice.
He's the Bull.
It was Juice.
Okay. Then who was the Bull?
You're soaking in it. Do you want to rate the film?
I'm going to give this 3 out of 5. Also,
okay. We agree
because I enjoyed it, and I would probably give it more if I'm wondering why the director wanted nothing to do with this.
Yeah, I could find no information on that. I am curious about it, but I do have a theory. It might have been because of how close this was to the events taking place, and he may have felt like this was an attack on a potentially innocent man.
Oh man.
That'd be the only reason I can imagine.
It's funny you say that because I had the exact opposite reaction. When I saw the first few minutes, I thought it was going to be OJ didn't. I thought it was going to be presented as OJ didn't do this, and that made me think that the director was only agreed to do this because he was worried that OJ would murder him. But it turned out that wasn't how they presented this. So I don't know why this was an Alan Smithy film, and without knowing that, I feel like there's something really bad about it that we missed, and that's why I'm only willing to go 3 out of 5.
Well, maybe the viewers can help us out. If you have any idea why this was directed by Alan Smithy, let us know in the comments.
That's not going to happen. Sorry.
All right. Well, in that case, anything we didn't talk about, you might want to talk about.
I think do we have some bonus content with this episode?
Potentially.
All right.
But that's something we'll deal with later, if at all.
That's going to be at the end of this, or that's going to be a whole separate...
That's going to precede the episode, so it's not worth mentioning now.
Precede?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
All right. Well, in that case, I think we did it. Thanks so much. Chris Morgani, Jim Corhan. I'm Steve Rees. Oscar BB. Holy Maganao.
Eat 'em raw.
We did it.